Welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews, folks. I'm Dave, that's Scott, and we are here. Are you getting away from? We are here to do our review of Feast 2005, monster flick, basically.
Yes.
And it would very reminiscent for me of an old 1985-ish monster movie, like a lot of blood, a lot of gory, over-exaggerated explosion stuff.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
This movie's ridiculous.
a little bit of naughty TNA, but nothing dirty, no nudity. I don't remember any in this at all.
No.
Real quick, I'm going to go through everybody's names. I will say this about as I go through their names, when they're introducing all the characters in the movie, there was a couple of movies that I've seen this done in. Not very often, but a couple of movies in the past that did this.
I like how it started, how you introduced everybody.
Yeah, the person comes on screen and the camera stops, the person's in a still, and then it comes up like the heroine, you know, 20 minutes worth of life left,
life expectancy
or something, and the hero, this, he's arrogant and obnoxious, 15 minutes, blah blah blah. But I'm gonna go through the actresses and actors' names. Navi Rawat was the heroine. Krista Tullen was Tuffy. Balthazar Getty was Bozo, which I forgot he was in this. Judah Friedlander was Beer Guy. Dwayne Whitaker was Boss Man. Shantae Davies was the drunk girl. I think that was a piece of ass, I think is what they were calling
Honey
her.
Pie.
Honey Pie. Hannah Burnell was Finger Girl.
Wait a minute. I think that's not the main cast though. You had Tuffy.
It looks like they're just mixing them in.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're all mixed up. So yeah, you had Honey Pie, you had Tuffy, but get to the recognizable Clue Gallagher.
Diane Ayala Goldner was Harley Mom.
Okay, there's one of the main
Harley
people.
Mom was Gulagar's, the director's girlfriend.
Ah.
So, and he always said, if I ever get a movie, I'm going to put you in it. She's like, you can't put me in this movie. This is your first big break. He's like, I don't care. You're being in my movie. I don't care.
Okay. We need to circle back to that, especially involving a scene with her, that her boyfriend. Anyway.
Hold on. Josh Zuckerman was Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Henry Rollins I forgot that he was.
The motivational coach.
He was the life coach, the motivational coach.
Oh my God.
Such a good character. Eileen Ryan was Grandma.
Oh, she was great.
Yeah. Jason Mewes, I forgot that he was in it too. He was Edgy Cat. Clue Gulagar was the bartender. That was the director's dad.
I did not know that.
He said, if nothing else, if this is the only movie I ever make,
we have to go to Clue being in this because this movie has got such a Return of the Evil Dead vibe to it, mainly because he's in it.
So many people die so quick. I got some people confused. Jenny Wade was Honey Pie.
Yeah, there you go.
Anthony Treach was the vet.
So that's Treach from Naughty by Nature. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Eric Dane was the first hero in. Whenever he's don't worry, I'm gonna save everybody, and then he's gone.
There goes his head. Well, that was nice. Where's my husband? Oh.
It's just crazy. And John Gulager was the director. Patrick Melton was one of the writers. Marcus Dunstan was the other writer. I do want to say one thing about this. This was one of the back in the early 2000s.
It's that Project Greenlight competition.
They had this particular series. I guess lasted 4 movies. The first 2 movies, they were hit you in the stomach and really get your heart going. And my God, these things they're saying something. They all lost money. Both movies lost fucking money. And I'm not sure which guy it was. I don't know whether it was Ben Affleck or Matt Damon or one of the other guys that were behind Project Greenlight that said, "Oh my God, we need to find something that's going to make us money. We're going to lose our ass if we keep doing this." Somebody said, "Okay, monster movies usually make money." They looked
Mm-hmm.
around for, they gave like 2 or 3 lines to somebody and said, "Here, direct these 2 or 3 lines. Send us what you got." And I remember watching this particular one because I was interested that it wasn't rubby dubby,
Right.
feel good, it's my soul on the screen kind of crap. Instead, it was a monster flick. And they show everybody's little bits for their 2 or 3 lines. And then they show Gulagar, the guy who directed this movie. He had his dad there and somebody else. He filmed it in black and white at a really weird angle where his dad's just got this whiskey and he's looking at the cameras and he says whatever the line is. And that's it. But the way he says it, I was like, shit, I want to see the rest of that movie. I
See,
remember
that's a
thinking that.
neat idea.
And then they show everybody else's, and there's some girls doing the, little campy, bouncy with the big boobs and, saying the same line. And I'm like, okay, but you're not acting. You're not showing that you can act. You're not showing that you can direct. But this guy got it. And I just remember him getting so much shit during the filming of this. And if you can find it anywhere, I don't even know where to tell you to look for it, folks. This particular, I think this is the third season of the movie that did Feast,
Mm.
and I just remember watching it, and there's a scene that was going on, and all the cinematographers were giving him shit, the makeup artists, everybody was trying to give the Gulagar shit because he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't, and nobody was listening to him. And I'm sitting there watching this, and I remember me and Kat looking at each other and talking and going, nobody's listening to this guy. He's saying what he wants, and they're all going, oh, he doesn't know what he wants. And finally, he gets up and walks out. He looks at the cinematographer and some other guy, the lighting guy goes, after he told them exactly what he wants, they're like, oh, blah, we can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And he gets up and leaves. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are having a fucking heart attack. Like, what do you mean he's not there? Well, the motherfucker just got up and left. We don't know where he's at. We don't know why. Well, yeah, you do know why, because whenever whoever is talking to the guy finally says, yeah, they're not listening. I tell them what I want. They don't want to listen. I don't know which guy. I don't know if it was one of the other producers or Matt Damon or Ben Affleck looked at him and said, "Man, you got to get in there and take control." I don't know what to tell you. You got to get in there. So finally, he goes in there and he's sitting there, and there was something about the scene coming down the stairs. I just remember where the thing was at, and they were talking to him, and the guy's telling him, "It can't be done. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want." He's like, "I'm telling you what I want. I want this scene. I want this thing to happen, and blah blah blah." We don't know what you want. I don't know what. I don't know how. How you gonna? And he stands up. He goes up the stairs, comes down the stairs, shows him exactly what he's doing, and comes and sits down at the chair and goes, "Now, can you fucking do that or not?" And the guy's just looking at him and goes, "That's what I want. Go do it. I'll be back in 10 minutes," and leaves. And then like finally everybody realized this guy's root taking shit from everybody. And he wants what he wants. And that's what I texted you last night. I was like, some of the angles in this movie are just astounding. Like
Mm-hmm.
stuff that most people wouldn't do in a horror movie. This guy was doing. He's doing one like the camera's just laying on the floor by
There's a
a dead
lot of,
body, looking up at the people coming towards the dead body. And you're
yeah.
like, holy crap, what an original thought to do. That's comic book stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was comic book angle
It
stuff,
was. There was a lot of comic book angles in there. And the editing. And I'm going to be all over the place with this since
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
bouncing on that. But because you mentioned that the comic book style, the editing actually lends itself to that very much in the
yeah,
fast paced actions because you're getting like freeze frames of action like you would get in a comic
yeah,
book panel. So it's
yeah.
interesting. I didn't think of that when I watched it. I said, man, this thing is got a lot of energy. These edits are
Mhm.
fast. Sometimes it worked well, sometimes but it was
And
overall really good on that.
I think Gulagar helped edit the movie too. And
Mm-hmm.
there's 2 more movies, Feast 2 and Feast 3, which we just talked a little bit about right
Yeah.
before we went on. But now I'm interested in watching those 2 movies to see
Oh,
if he
absolutely.
kept it going. But I know I talked a lot, but I want to know what you think about the movie as a whole.
All
Because I
right.
remember
So, folks,
I think this one was
this
I think
was your
this was my
suggestion.
first, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's back it up a little bit. This is going to be a spoiler filled podcast. So if you haven't seen Feast, turn off now because it's hard to talk about this movie without spoiling it. All right. Now, that being said, I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
I was not prepared for the gore. I thought David recommended this. This
I
is something
know.
I would have recommended.
I
But
know.
here's the deal. Once I started watching, I realized why you were okay with it,
Yeah.
because it is a horror comedy.
Mhm.
Yes, it is very graphic,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the humor always lessens it. If there's humor to the gore, it's a little more funny. I mean,
Yeah.
you got a monster cock stuck in a door that gets lopped off. I mean, and flops around on the floor. You
Yeah.
have these monsters. Let's back up even further. Okay, so this whole movie, this is a horror movie. For one, it's also
Right.
a comedy. But like most horror movies, they have a very small budget. This
Right.
is a single location movie. It all takes place in a bar in the desert. Boom, there's our setup. A bunch of people get trapped inside when these
Mhm.
monsters from the desert come out of nowhere and start killing. We never learn a damn thing about them, know nothing about them, and you know what? It's not important. All
No.
we do know about them is if they need an army, they start humping in the parking lot and they'll spit one out right away. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to see these creatures like that. It's
He's
like, all right,
humping
oh
on my
no,
car.
are they?
They're going
Well,
at it on the car.
yeah. And the little one on the deer head in the bar.
Oh God, that was.
It gets worse. It gets worse. It
Yeah,
gets
I forgot
fucking
about
worse.
that
I
one.
can't
But yeah,
believe I'm going to say it
he's
gets
got all
worse.
the horns, and he's just. Oh
Yeah.
man, that's crazy.
It gets worse with Harley Mom, who is tied up and can't move.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And we're going to leave it at that.
yeah, that was bad. But luckily, she blew up before anything really happened to her.
I don't know.
And that was a character that I really wanted to see live. I mean, Rolly Mom was a
Yeah.
character I wanted to
It
see
was
live.
kind of cool. I was waiting for it because when they introduced all the characters, they have their names, and they had Harley
Yeah.
Mom that she was going to rob the place in about 10 minutes. But
Yeah.
we saw it in 10 minutes. Oh, dude, all hell breaks loose. These people are trapped. These creatures are fast. They are destroying everything.
Yeah.
This movie is so. You have your main archetypes that you have in every horror film.
Right.
You recognize Tuffy is the final girl right off the bat. Oh, here's the single mom who has so much to live for. And then this movie crossed a line that doesn't get crossed
a couple of
often.
lines, but yep.
There's a lot. But this is the big no-no, and I'm good with it. I love when a movie will cross this line. They killed a child right on screen. It rarely happens. We watched what was it? Assault on Precinct 13.
Assault on Precinct 13.
It's shocking. It's shocking.
Not,
For one, you don't see it often.
I was gonna say it doesn't happen. It's not done. But
and it was done here.
I will ruin it this way. It wasn't graphic. Everybody else had like super graphic. This kid just got
sucked inside, is swallowed whole, and his shoe spit out. It was
pretty much swallowed whole, but you know.
But the fact that it happened after you thought, oh my God, the kid's in danger. She runs to get him. She grabs him. She hugs him. I'll never leave you. The monster rips it out of her arms and sucks it right down its throat. And it's like, I was speechless. Everybody was speechless. I was like, you did not just do that. At that point, I didn't know she was going to be the final girl anymore. It's like, okay, all bets are off. I don't know what's going to happen.
Because a lot of the stuff that seemed like it was going the way it normally would, some of it went, the stereotypical way.
The black guy was not the first one out.
Then other things weren't. And other things didn't go the stereo. You'd think, oh, this is what's going to happen. Woof. Oh, crap. No, that didn't happen. They bought it. Yeah. Whoa, that one bought it too. I wasn't I thought that one was going to live. So
I didn't expect Honey Pie to run.
Yeah. I wasn't going to ruin that one, but there's
fuck it. Like, we said it's spoiled.
When Honey Pie takes off, I was like, and I remembered it. This is weird because I thought she turned around and came back and smashed through the building.
Well, see, when they said they heard that noise, that rumble, I didn't realize it was a stampede.
Yeah.
The fact that they took Henry Rollins and made him into a battering ram while he was alive. And as they're running toward the door with him, he's screaming, "This is bullshit!
This is bullshit!" Bam, bam, bam.
This movie works so well because it's ridiculous, and it's fucking ridiculous, and I love it.
There's the one scene where Henry Rollins is like, "We need to all come together," because he's a motivational speaker. And
bro, are you gay?
Dirty guy, so perfect. You what?
Is that when the other guy asks me, "Are you gay?"
Yeah, he's gonna. We all need to come together, work together. And the guy looks at him, Bozo, looks over at him. Are you gay? And the guy just looks at him like, what? Huh? Just throws him off his entire game of giving his speech.
Bozo was a bozo,
I really thought like I thought he was gonna buy it. Um,
dude.
the
The
monster
douchebag
designs,
usually does, but not this time.
the monster designs in this were really good. I
Looked Native American.
Yeah,
Was the
I'm
vibe I
thinking
got.
Skinwalker,
Skinwalker ish. Yes.
Skinwalkers. But
It looked
again,
like
you and I have talked
Skinwalkers.
about Skinwalkers, that all the legends of
Yeah.
Skinwalkers are evil and they're this and that.
It's a horror
Uh,
movie.
nobody's ever actually got anything written down about a Skinwalker actually doing anything evil
Right.
or killing a human being. I've never come across that. I know people who sit there and say, "Oh, but they're evil and they're this and that," and they give me a weird feeling. That will give me a weird feeling if I
Yeah,
came across a
I think
Skinwalker at night too.
I think to me they were only Skinwalker in appearance as
Yeah, yeah,
what I would think a Skinwalker might look like.
yeah,
That was the vibe I got. Clearly not Skinwalkers, otherwise they would have played on that angle of them
yeah,
changing shape and stuff.
yeah. They were something
But they
else.
did look Native American, indigenous.
Mhm.
So it was neat. I would like to know the lore, but it doesn't matter. Now I
Yeah,
just realized grandma.
yeah,
She just go in the cooler with a bottle of alcohol to just
yeah.
die?
When all
That's
that
what I
crap was
figured.
going on, she just
She's
grabbed
like,
her
fuck
cooler,
it.
went into the cooler, and then when
Shut the
everybody
cooler.
did you catch what happened at the very end when she comes out of the cooler?
I must have looked away or something. She came out of the cooler. Okay.
Doesn't last long.
How did I miss that?
I don't know. It was
So,
like the
okay.
very last thing before the credits rolled.
Oh, okay. I must have turned off as the car was driving off.
Yeah,
So,
when the car
okay.
finally took
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was. This is a good movie. There's a lot of action in it, and there's no real. There's no real. I don't want to say there's no real plot or no real story because the
It's a horror
story is
movie.
basically old horror movie story,
It's an
like
hour and a
every
half
trope.
of action.
Yeah,
Um,
there is a lot of action. I don't ever remember a horror movie having this much going on, like
yeah.
just going on
Well,
constantly.
that's what helps this, because it's not long and drawn out. I thought, hey, I'm going to sit down and watch a little bit of this now. I'll watch a little bit later. I'll watch some the next
Right,
day. I'll watch this movie, because I'm like,
right.
I sat down and I watched it straight through. It's like I ain't stopping. I got to find out what happens. So it's a good
And it
one,
goes by
dude.
quick.
Yeah,
It's
it goes by real
it's
quick.
quick. Don't get attached to anybody in the movie. Is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, because I was surprised at the final survivors.
Yeah, like
I said
there's at least
survivors.
one guy. There's at least one guy that survived that I didn't think was going to make it.
Yeah,
But when you
and
read
there's
the little clip on the introduction,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah, don't get attached to anybody. Just don't get attached to any of the characters because
Yeah.
they're probably not going to make it. Is all I'm going to say.
What and this is a typical setup in any type of movie that has a closed set or closed
Yeah,
location with a
yeah,
handful of characters, whether we're doing a whodunit, a horror film, a
mm,
heist movie, or people are trapped in a terrorist situation and they're all confined together. You have these same personalities. We just
yeah,
watched it in Abigail.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's
Exactly.
I mean, I wrote a heist movie. I have these same characters in the heist movie. It's like, I guess it's a formula.
And
It's-
if you folks have watched Abigail and you've seen this, there is, like Scott said, a lot of the same archetypes. There's a lot of the
Mhm.
same type of thing going on. Abigail had a lot of action in it. This one has a lot of action in it.
Yeah.
There's very rarely are you sitting down in Abigail and taking a breath.
Yeah.
You
Same
know,
here. Same on
same in this
Feast.
movie. Same in Feast. Now, I don't know about Feast 2 or Feast 3. Sloppy seconds in the final feast or the final meal or whatever the other one is called.
Happy ending. Of
Happy ending. I think that's what it is. I think it's happy ending.
course it
Um,
is.
but it's the guy's trilogy, and
Yeah.
I don't know if
God
I
bless him.
imagine that it was the same writers. I'm not sure. The writers. The interesting thing about this movie is they were looking for a new director and new writers, and that's where you're getting all your stuff from Project Greenlight. that, you're supposed to, well, we're going to introduce new writers and introduce new director and new this and new that. So I think a lot of these people were probably first time actors, actresses, or very small. Most
Mm-hmm.
of them seem like that. Um, with the occasional halfway big name, like
Yeah, they
James.
spent some money to get Treach in, and
Yeah.
well, I mean, now that you said the director's dad was Clue, then they really didn't have to spend much on him. So,
Well, no, the director's dad was the bartender.
yeah, Clue Gallagher. So they didn't have to
Yeah,
spend money on him,
yeah,
is what I'm
yeah.
saying.
And I'm sure the girlfriend didn't do. I mean, and it's funny
Yeah,
because they were like, "I don't know if I want to do this," and he's like, "No, come on, this is it. This is part of my deal. This is the deal I'm making." And they were like, "Right." He had just wanted to make a movie with his dad, and
he did
his
too.
girlfriend was so
And
proud that he got the job to do this. He's like, "Well, then you got to be in it," and she's like, "I can't be in your movie. This is your thing." So I really hope that those two are still together.
yeah,
I mean, it just
well,
seems like what a happy ending if they're still together at this point.
once the movie, yeah, once the movie started, and I saw Clue Gallagher as the bartender, I was like,
Right?
oh shit, this is gonna have some humor to it. He's
Yeah.
got a presence. He's got such a presence, and
His dad was awesome.
yeah, his dad's
Yeah.
awesome. So he was a hell of an actor. So yes, folks, watch Feast. It's on Tubi. It's free. It's violent. It's gory. It's funny, and
Hmm.
it's good. It's good. This has got 80s horror all over it. That's my take on it, Dave.
That's. I'm glad that you liked it. I figured you would because seems like it's right up your alley. A lot of gore,
It
but a
is.
lot of humor too.
Yeah, give me some
And
humor.
I really am surprised that I like this movie. And then
I
second,
was too.
this is only the second time I've seen it. I think it's only the second time I saw it. Kat and I actually rented it after it came
Mm.
out initially, I think. And watching it this time, I see a lot of stuff that I didn't see the first time that I was just like, oh, that's freaking hysterical. And then there's a couple other things that I forgot, like people who died. And I was just like, the one guy who gets thrown up on by the monster is like the
So
most
disgusting.
disgusting thing
So
in this
disgusting.
movie.
It's so
Ah, it's so
bad.
disgusting. But
It's getting better, right? It's healing, right? It's getting better. I'm getting
those
better.
are
See that was the Return of the Evil Dead moment where the guys are in the morgue or whatever, the mortuary, and they're dead. But they're like, "What do you mean I have no temperature? I'll be all right." Or what? Just a
yeah,
few, it's like,
okay, I'm gonna be better.
yeah. And so it reminded me of that. So it was funny to see that. But honestly, the funniest thing for me is when they broke the key in the lock. When the dude was in
I
the
don't
other
want to hear
room,
anybody's dropped the key. I don't want to hear anybody can't find the key. The key's lost.
and the key fucking breaks, and I laughed out loud, man. I was screaming. It's like, no, it's
Oh, he's
perfect,
doomed.
beautiful, beautiful.
You're like, oh, dude,
Yeah,
you're just doomed. Ah, so much good in this movie. There's so much action going on, and really pay attention to if you like cinematography and how things are shot. Look at the lighting. It is in color. It's not black and white. I would like to turn this down. Maybe I'll look at it tonight for a little bit.
Mm.
Turn it down to black and white. See what it looks like. But it is in color. But the colors are so dark. It's almost like watching a black and
It's
white
got a grit
movie.
to it. It's got
Yeah,
a grit in many ways.
the
I
film,
mean,
the grittiness of the film
visually
is
and
almost like it was
artistically.
shot in like a 70 millimeter. Like,
Well, it was probably dark, so
yeah,
that adds a lot of film grain as well. So it's
and just the angles that the guy shot at, the approach that he took to making it. And I know I'm like talking it up like it's some brilliant masterpiece. No, it's just a monster movie. But some of the neat
it's a
stuff he did
solid
to make it
monster movie.
interesting and a solid one is just fantastic. I
Yeah.
love it.
If I had to have any negative, no, no, I'm not. I'm not going to go looking for anything. I like this
Harley
movie.
Mama should have lasted through the whole movie.
I would have liked to have seen that.
That's all I wanted. I was like,
She got done dirty, and I'm not going to discuss it
no,
on air.
no,
But yeah,
no. But that would
that
be
might
funny if
be a
she shows up
little.
in the second one. It's like, wait a minute, how did you get back here? So now I got to go see the second one and see what's going
Yeah,
on.
I don't think she made it, Dave.
No, she did. His favorite person in the movie.
Oh, I know.
I like the dad. The Clue, the bartender was good.
Yeah, Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
it's a good solid movie. It's got a lot of fun, a lot of energy, a lot of gore. It's like got Abigail level gore in it, so
Yeah.
it's
It
kind of
feels to
fun.
me like an Evil Dead movie because it
Yeah,
has a dark humor. It's over the top gore, and that's why it works. It's over the top. It's like
yeah,
when
yeah.
watching Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I mean, so much freaking gore.
Why
That's
is he
probably one of
trying
the
to
goriest
jump for the?
movies.
Why is he
But
trying
it's,
to jump for the wood chipper?
are you all right? You gonna be okay? See,
I
same
don't
type
think
of
he's gonna
humor.
be okay.
Same thing, man. Same thing. It's just like ridiculous. I love it. I love stupid humor, and you know what? This helps. It's a neat horror story. It's a
Yeah,
neat monster
I,
movie.
yeah.
Solid, man. Solid.
I might go back and take a look at the other two eventually. Eventually. Anyway, yeah, I
Cool.
highly recommend it. Watch it, folks. It's
Awesome.
fun. Don't forget to hit the like, the
Like,
subscribe, the share, notifications if you can find the button for it. There's a little thing that you can go and watch us later. Save us in your queue on
yeah,
YouTube. I think Rumble has it also.
I
Um,
believe.
I'm going to start putting up a Rumble banner behind me, I think,
Sure.
soon, just so folks know that we're on Rumble too.
Good
And I'll do
idea.
that every once in a while.
All right.
Only because you're not allowed to say Rumble, Rumble, Rumble on YouTube because,
Oh
well,
well, yeah, that's all right. So if you
but
guys don't
but
see
the way
this
I look at
video, we're somewhere because Dave just dropped us to the shadow realm.
the way I look at
Anyway,
it, we're not getting we're not getting any kind of algorithm help from anybody.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. All right, folks, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and we will catch you next week with another movie. And hit us up with what you want to see. Talk to you
Yep.
later.